A number of years ago in Kansas City, I asked you a dog question, and I have another dog question. I have a wonderful dog. His name is Tucker, and he hangs out in my nursing home where I work, and he's wonderful with the residents. They absolutely love him. Everybody loves him.
He doesn't feel sorry for anybody.
No, he's unconditional love. However, on occasion, random occasions, he will go after somebody and bite them. Not a resident, never a resident. But one time it was a hospice nurse who was just innocently walking down the hallway, and Tucker went after her, and more recently it was a police officer in our little town where I live who had just given me a speeding ticket. So I could understand that one. And then there was another therapist on our staff who was just walking across the parking lot, and just randomly Tucker attacked her.
Well, Tucker is responding to disruptions in energy. You're moving along, you've sort of settled in. You might say, and what a nice conversation to have following the one that we just had, that there's been a sort of adaptation that's been taking place in your environment. In other words, people are settled in, and the energy is at a sort of level place, and people are doing what they're doing, so to speak. There's not a lot of disruptive energy, and even some disruption in energy is all right, but when it is a strong disruption, then it is evoking a response from Tucker. That's all.
So these individuals are disrupting the energy in such a way that Tucker goes after them?
It's easier for you to think about the police officer, because the police officer is clearly a different vibration moving around, and so Tucker would take note of that, and then depending upon where the attention was focused, it might exacerbate it still a bit more. This conversation includes many of the conversations that we've had already here today about momentum, getting ready to be ready. And so think about what's usually going on in the environment where you work. So people are ready to be ready to be ready to be ready, and there's not a lot that is changing, but there is a routine that is comfortable for most. And when someone else enters the environment with a different set of intentions or a different energy, it is notable to sensing ones. It's notable to a lot of your residents. If you were to poll them, they would be able to tell you that they all could feel a disruption in the force. But most humans have been trained to behave, and while Tucker has been trained to behave, some things are just strong enough that Tucker doesn't feel like behaving.
So is there anything I can do to assist Tucker? Because it is a little concerning when he's...
Well, because you live in an environment where you're not allowed to show your awareness of energy disruption. In other words, humans train yourself to like everybody no matter what they're offering vibrationally. We weren't kidding when our first words to you about Tucker were, he doesn't feel sorry for anyone. Tucker sort of maintains this vibration of well-being and overall acceptance and no alarm about things, and never adds to thoughts of no alarm about things, and never adds to thoughts of loss or of lowering of vibration. And so you could prepare Tucker a little bit more like residents have been prepared. That's the thing that is so lovely about beasts, is that they don't give up what they feel vibrationally as readily as humans do. You could be aware of things that are happening in the environment and put Tucker in a place where it would be easier for the experience, or you could vibrationally prepare Tucker a little bit by addressing it in your own conscious awareness and having a sort of verbal and vibrational conversation with Tucker. Tucker, someone is coming, and it's not someone that we're used to, and it is someone that means well but whose vibration is all jacked up. And so there's going to be a little flurry around this, Tucker. It might be a little more exciting, but it's going to be all right. In other words, and be willing Tucker feel some of what you are feeling. But in essence, the reason we love having this conversation with you, which might not feel that we've come upon a solution for you quite yet, but it is because what humans really are asking for is, how can we train Tucker to be more like the rest of us and abide by the laws? And we say, this is not serving any of you very well. What you feel you suppress, and what you know you pretend you don't, so that you just kind of go with the flow of what the masses want. And the thing that makes this environment particularly harmonic to Tucker is that there are not a lot of people with a lot of strong desires. So the beliefs that they hold are not working really hard against their desires, and that's why there's not much energy disruption there. You see what we're getting at?
Yeah, got it.
And so there is a soothing. So
I have one more question.
any conclusions about that, though? Anything dropping in from your receiving mode about what to do?
Well, I get to connect with Tucker when I see the possibility of somebody who he may go after.
And it might even be helpful to say to those who are entering, Tucker's sort of our monitor of balance and stability here. It's the same thing. Have you ever heard the story, we know you have, that a dog will bite the one who's afraid of him? Well, the dog isn't biting you because you're afraid of him. It's the disruption in the energy that feels disruptive to these very sensitive beasts. And so Tucker is a sort of monitor of the energy of the place, and when new things happen, sometimes that's a little disruptive to Tucker. And so
the interesting thing, though, is other than the police officer, the people that Tucker's gone after are meek and mild. They're not people.
This is an important thing to understand. This is why we've said several times today, and we say it almost every time that we are together, you can't fake it. Behavior does not indicate energy.
Oh, got it.
There are a lot of people that are offering a lot of energy that is different from what they are feeling, and that's why we're not too excited about you encouraging Tucker to behave differently than he feels, because those others that are already doing that. So what to do about it? What's the big message here? Acknowledge the well-being that abounds and appreciate a sensor of energy, and do your best to learn from Tucker. Because if someone comes to you and says something to you about you, such as there, I feel sorry for you and I want to do this for you, meaning because I see you cannot do it for yourself, bite them. Bite them. Don't just stand by limply and mildly and let people thrust their belief of your diminishment upon you.
Very good. Got it. Can I ask one more?
Or even someone that believes that death is a bad thing when it isn't. Tucker knows better. There are people helping people die who suffer with every death instead of celebrate.
Could you explain how ayahuasca works?
Give us more.
It's a substance that tribes in South America use to create bigger consciousness with themselves, to release relief.
Are they creating bigger consciousness, or are they releasing the resistance to the bigger consciousness they've already created?
Wait, I don't know. That's the question.
It's that one. This is that this life that you all are living has caused you to accomplish a vibrational expansion that is, by human standards, enormous, incredibly satisfying. The expansion of consciousness has already been created, but humans have themselves mostly pinched off to the realization of it, to the witnessing of it, to the understanding of it. And sometimes through the utilization of substances that cause you to focus in your moment differently than you usually do, you can have glimpses meaning awarenesses, brief, of this broader expansion. The expansion isn't happening in the moment. The glimpse is due to the brief releasing of resistance. It's an uncontrolled substance, however, in the sense that you can't really control how much you receive, because in your altered state your mind isn't focusing in the most productive of ways. There are a lot of substances that people want to utilize, and they will ask us, is this of benefit? And we say, well, let's go back to the basics of this. So step one is ask. You've already done that. Step two, it's been answered. There's a vibrational reality. Step three is you've got to let it in. Well, this is the problem that most humans have. They are so focused with their physical senses that they don't let in. They have so many beliefs that contradict their own desires that they don't let themselves realize or receive or witness. We've been calling it magic. It certainly isn't magic. And sometimes by using a substance, then you get those hindering beliefs temporarily out of the way. And so it can give you an awareness that there is more. But we want this conversation to help you to realize that it's that created the expanded consciousness. It's a substance that allowed you a glimpse of the expanded consciousness.
Yeah, I tried it, and it was well, not as pleasurable as I thought it would be.
It's not sustainable. The only thing that is sustainable is a vibrational adaptation. In other words, we've been talking about adaptation. When you focus with the intent of adapting to the pure frequency of who you really are, now you've got your passageway open, and now you can see clearly everywhere you look on every subject, you see.
Okay, I get that, but I don't get why so many people have such a different experience with that, from really good to really bad and everything in between. And what conclusion you can make conclusion about that?
Yes, because people have different vibrational variables. This conversation is so satisfying to us. The conversation about the vibration of your desire and the vibration of your belief and how they meld together. And there are infinitely different recipes that those vibrational frequencies make up. And those different recipes cause different emotional results, all the way from ecstasy to agony, all the way from love and satisfaction to hate and revenge. That mix of vibrations that people have going on. So you take a variety of people with a different mix of vibrations and you introduce the same substance, they're going to have all kinds of different results, because the factor of difference is the vibrational factor, not the substance factor.
Okay, I understand. I thought it would be some sort of shortcut to more alignment.
It can be in this sense. It can be a shortcut into an awareness of your true power. But the problem with it, the problem with the substance, is that in your altered state, you don't really accomplish any vibrational momentum. So you don't own it. There's no lasting. And it's part of the reason that people go back again and again and again. But that's why this steady, deliberate quieting of your mind and deliberately letting your vibration rise to the alignment of who you are, and then the moving through your day with impulses to act and witnessing the results of all of that, is the only sure way of enlightenment. The rest of it is flawed and fleeting. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really good.